Yoga on your break is great, but what happens on those days where you have other errands to run on your lunch hour or you don't even get one? Well, thank you for joining me today on Yoga with Paige, where I give you some stretches, some postures that you can do while you are still working. As you are working, you can be stretching and opening up all major muscle groups and targeted parts of the body that get sore from working all day. So you're really getting the most bang for your buck here. These postures will be categorized according to the type of work you're doing. So let me know in the comments below after watching this or during if you feel that I've missed a few good ones that we could be utilizing here, and we can continue to add to this list and make it grow. So whenever you are ready, you don't even have to quit working, and we can get started. So as I'm showing you the list of poses that you can do, we will hold each one for a few seconds so you can follow along with me today. The first category that we are working with today is while you are typing. So you can do all of these moves, all of these stretches as you are typing up a document, transcribing, whatever work you're doing, I don't know. So the first one are heel raises. So as you're typing, we just lift the heel. We get a nice little stretch in the calf. You can do sets of these all day long. Squeezing at the top, really rising up onto the ball of the foot. This is great for ankle mobility. And then the next one that I have for you is half chair. So taking one ankle, say you're right, don't worry, we will do both sides if you're following along. We want to even ourselves out. So half chair, crossing the right ankle over the left knee. And as you type, this one is actually very conducive to typing because as you want to find length in the spine, and then we slowly fold over. So as you're typing, you're getting closer to your work. As you're doing more work, you can really just allow yourself to release, and you might not even remember that you're stretching after a certain point. It might just feel so good. I actually do this one a lot while I'm working, editing, and things like that. So we have half chair. And then from here, we can press back up. Take those hands away for a moment if you need help situating your legs, completely crossing the right leg over the left, raveling those legs around, coming into eagle. So wherever your shoes, your space allows, ravel your legs up, really squeeze, get the blood circulating in there, and then we can resume our duties. And then there is an option, if you have a second to pause, to do your arms as well. Find a little full seated eagle here, a little upper back release. And then as you uncross your legs, you can come into a little half split. So plant this right heel down, flex the foot back at you, reach forward as you find length in the back of the leg. You are actively facing your screen. Just making sure to keep the toes pointed back at your face. Most of these moves, some of these moves would be way better if you were able to take your shoes off. If that is conducive to your work environment, I highly suggest. And then we want to make sure that we do both sides. So plant this right foot, take the left ankle on top of the right knee, and just take a few moments here to release tension. Send your awareness to the hips. Use your exhales to open up the glutes. Releasing stress from the workday. And then when you're ready to lift back up and ravel into our little eagle legs, further this out. This one can definitely be tricky if you have shoes on. And obviously you can take any of these postures, movements that work for you, and then leave the rest alone. This wasn't really a yoga flow per se, but more of ideas on ways that you can include more movement in your day if you don't have an actual break where you can do a few, like a sequence that makes sense together. So these are ways that you can just pick one and take one for even 10 minutes. The choice is yours. It always is. You have the power. All right, and then if you wanted to reverse your eagle arms, coming into your half splits, plant that left heel down, flex those toes back at the face, and really engage the quadricep to get a better stretch in the back of the leg. Making sure to keep a nice long spine here. And then after we have completed our half splits on the left side, we can join our right leg back with the left and find a little seated staff pose. So as we are just doing both legs together, and we can be way closer to our desk. You don't have to be this far away. I'm just trying to give you ample space to see. Lean forward. Then we get both legs at the same time. We've gotten a great stretch for the backs of the legs today. And then when you're ready, you can press back up. We're coming into the inner groins. So this one, depending on your space, also depending on your work attire, coming to the edge of your seat, coming into a little toe balance. So press this chair back, make sure you can see me. We're coming up onto the balls of the feet or the toes and just kind of pressing the heels together. If you can get the balls of the feet together as well, but we are really just focusing on opening through the groins. And I know it may not seem like you can type and do this, but you surely can, my good friends. You definitely can. I would have to reposition myself, but just pretend that I have my keyboard right here. Click, click, tap, 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 tap. Open those hips. And then we can release, bring the knees back together. And this next category of postures is while we're reading something, say it's reading documents or anything where you are continuously looking at a screen, but you have more freedom to move because your hands are not locked to the keyboard. So no matter what you're reading, these postures can be done facing a screen. So the first one is a nice side stretch. Now, side stretches come in many shapes, forms, sizes. So you get to pick your poison with this one here. All we need is to reach the arms up. We can take this by one arm at a time, reading something, and then the other. We can interlace the fingers, press the palms up, and take them both over at the same time, getting a nice stretch. We can interlace the fingers the other way and point the pointer finger out. Whatever variation suits you, maybe you play around with it, you find different ones to do on different days. We also have a beautiful, beautiful stretch that is so nice for workers, especially if you're typing on a computer all day, is a beautiful wrist finger stretch. So extend the left arm, flip the palm, and then take the right hand to the fingers and just gently pull the fingers back. We don't want this to hurt. We don't want any major discomfort. We're going to feel a big, big pull on the forearm here. So if this is where you go and you stop, that's where you feel it, that's fine. We just want to open the wrists and flex them back the other way. So they're always like this. So this tendon here is going to get shortened. It is going to get overstretched in that way. So stretching it back the other way, you're probably feeling this very deeply. And then here, or we can take this separately, the fingers as well. So you can move, you can kind of massage your fingers. You can get in between your fingers and kind of just squeeze and clench. That is very nice, pressing the palms together. You can keep the tips of the fingers together. Release the palms though, so you're pressing each finger into each other, basically flexing backwards of what it's normally doing, which is all crunched up. So we're getting nice length there. You might feel every single one of your fingers crack. And then obviously we want to reverse the wrist stretch, extend the right arm, grabbing the fingers with the left hand, and just find a few gentle breaths. And remember, if you can't breathe easy during any of these postures, we've just gone a little bit too far, or maybe our space isn't too accessible. So just do what you can. We're here to feel good. And then when you want to release those, we're going to move to the upper back. So finding some eagle arms again. I know we already did this with our eagle legs, but now we are sitting here reading. So this one, you would obviously have to turn a little bit to the side and kind of peek over your shoulder, like a cute little, like a koi pose. So reaching up, really rounding through the back and opening through the upper back. So take 2 more breaths here, because this one feels so good. And then releasing the hands, whichever arm, for me it was my left, was scooped underneath. Keep that one scooped, extend the top arm, which is my right, and come into a nice bicep stretch. So using this left hand like in gym class to pull it across the chest, you can easily read from here. And then a tricep stretch. We want to get the other way. So taking this right arm, if you were following me, above the head, bend the elbow, take the left hand, reach for the elbow. So the hand is kind of on the small of the back, and you're just working it out until you feel a nice stretch in the triceps. And exhale to release. And then of course we're going to even ourselves out. So the other hand now comes underneath and we find eagle arms. Maybe we notice a difference here. You probably will. Unless you're ambidextrous and you use both of your arms and hands pretty evenly, you are going to be using one more than the other for writing anything down in your mouse. So one side will probably definitely be a little bit more tense or tight. So don't judge yourself. Just love yourself through it. You're already giving yourself love here, which is great. All right, and then coming into our little bicep stretch, we're reaching the left arm across the chest. And we're still just reading, observing whatever the boss has sent us in this nice corporate email. Not a nasty email, a nastygram, as my mom has called it in the past. A nastygram. I hope you're getting very nice grams, very nice emails. And then send the left arm up, tricep stretch. Really using the pull of the elbow to open. Being careful not to crunch the neck in any sort of way here. Exhale to release. Finding a little chest opener. Take the hands behind the back. Interlace the fingers. And take the hands over to the left hip so it kind of rests on the hip. And then actively send the elbows back as we reach the chest forward. So you're getting a nice stretch in the front of the shoulder as well. Opening through the chest. One breath here. And then just gingerly switch sides, placing the hands on the right hip. And then releasing, taking a full chest opener. So reach for the back of the chair or maybe the sides, whatever you can actively, nicely take. And just use your hands to press away, pull yourself from the chair, opening, expanding through the heart center. Big breaths in here. Especially if you want to respond to something that you're reading in a nice, open, communicative way, we could take one of these postures to help open up our chakras in preparation. Work tip. And then releasing the hands. This next one you will be standing up for. This is a very optional one. I just thought it would be fun to throw in here if you want to get some extra strength in your day. We are going to be planking against our desk. So placing the hands, make sure you have a little space. This one will require more space if you have it. Place the hands on your desk. Make sure it's a sturdy desk. Mine isn't too sturdy, so I'm kind of scared. But extend both of your legs and really just find a nice neutral spine and continue your reading. But like I said, this desk is not of the most stable of woods, so we're only going to be there for a few seconds. This next one, you take your chair, maybe place it right under your desk so you're still close to your screen, and we're just coming into a little high lunge using the back of the chair. So step your left foot back, really sink down into the right knee, and you might need to angle yourself again to still be able to see the screen, but this is so good, getting a nice stretch in the psoas, reversing the crunch of our muscles as we sit and have our legs bent. This one will feel amazing, especially if you really reach that heel back. You'll get a nice stretch along the whole body. And then we take care to reverse and extend the right leg behind. And you may even be able to straighten the legs and find a nice little stretch here. You might even find yourself sequencing your own yoga class as you play around with some of these postures. So just evening yourself out. Beautiful. And then gently make your way back to your seat. If you are following along with me, come on, chair. Don't get stuck. So we have typing down, we have reading, whatever you're reading on your computer. I know a lot of people are on the phone, and this is where I would especially love if you have any ideas in the comments. I could only think of 2-ish postures while you're on the phone, especially depending on what kind of a phone it is. I wasn't thinking of a headset. I know a lot of people use those, but a lot of offices still have those old ancient phones that you have to physically hold with your hands. So that's what I was picturing in my head. So I will be using my hand as a little makeshift phone. And the only things that I was thinking while you're on the phone with somebody is that you could kind of use it as a neck stretch. You know how you can kind of cradle the phone in your ear like this? I know you're kind of scrunching your shoulder that you're using, but maybe you just hold the phone with your hand, and then the other side, you get a little neck stretch. Does that make sense? Yeah, so maybe I retract my statement of placing your phone in between your ear and your shoulder. So let's go to the other side and just hold the phone in your hand and then get a nice little side length on the other side. So that kind of almost negates my other one, because my other only option was for a goddess pose side stretch, but you'd be cradling your phone on your shoulder. So it would be kind of like this with the phone. You can pretend my earring is the phone, and you're reaching over big side stretch. And then the other way. But now that we're here, this is a very big earring. This is my phone here. All right. So getting a nice stretch on the side of the body. But now that we're here too, if you are holding your phone with one hand, you can definitely get some twisting action. And we all need twists. Twists need us. So if you're holding your phone, you could use this free hand, so you're holding it with your right. You could use this left free hand to find the opposite knee and kind of twist along with your phone. Right? I think that works well. Okay, so I do have two for you. So just finding a gentle little twist, trying to keep length in the spine as you listen to the conversation. Yeah, and that was basically what I had for you today. And like I said, I would love to know if you had any more ideas to add in for these, but I just wanted to give you a few ways to incorporate movement when you don't actually have a set amount of time to move and to follow a flow or a certain routine. So even just one stretch while you're doing something in the middle of your workday will make you feel better than not doing anything at all. And I hope you were able to utilize some of these and that you enjoyed this yoga work week. So I will link all of the other videos down below if you missed any of the other ones, like the benefits of why we would even do this during the middle of the day. And if you enjoyed this little series, you probably will enjoy this video as well. But until we meet again next time, my friends, have a blessed rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining me on Yoga with Paige.